for the gracious grading system that you have.
So welcome to Research and Style. This is class 4. We're going to start today with a word of prayer. So let me see. Let's start with Sean.
Heavenly Father, Lord, I just want to ask you to be with us tonight as we try to learn. Lord, I ask you just allow us to forget what maybe distracted us throughout the day. Lord, that we just be able to have a clear mind, and Lord, that we'd be able to focus tonight. Lord, I just ask you just give us something, Lord, we'd be able to apply to our lives and take with us in the future. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, so let's go over homework first. So for next class, I want you to read pages 44 through 57 in the MLA handbook. I also want you to send me by Sunday the 16th your outline. And also, if I gave you corrections on your works cited page, I want you to send me the corrected copy of that as well. If you look in your syllabus, we are a little bit behind. So I'm going to make a little revision to that because we were supposed to do the outline last week and pass it in. But since we're a little behind, I'm going to say that these will be due for this Sunday. And then week 5 will be your introduction. So if you want to correct that on your syllabus, week 5 will actually be when we do the introduction. Week 6, we will do the first paragraph. Week 7, we will do the second paragraph. And then week 8, I'm not going to assign anything because I want you to study for the midterm. And the midterm will still be on week 9. Okay, so I'll just go over that one more time. So this week you will do your corrections on your works cited page. And also you will make an outline for your paper. Then week 5, you're going to be working on the introduction. Week 6, you'll work on the first paragraph after the introduction. And week 7, you will do the second paragraph. And then week 8, you will study for the midterm, and then week 9 will be the midterm. All right, if you have any questions about that after class, just come to me. Let's start off by finishing our notes from last week. I believe we ended on number 7. Was that correct? It may be hard to delete information that you have gathered in researching your subject. Did you get that on number 7? Do you have notes?
I
No
do,
notes?
they're in here somewhere.
Okay.
I think found my
If you want, you could just write the words down on a piece of paper and then add them to your paper later. Yes, Isaiah?
So you just went over question 7 on class 4, right?
Yes. So it should say it may be hard to delete. The word is delete. Delete information that you have gathered in researching your subject. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Today is class 4.
I don't.
You didn't get class 4 now, so I thought I passed those out. Let me get you those. Oh, honestly, I think I am going through class 4. I am so sorry. Thank you for telling me that because that's from class 4. All right, so you didn't get a copy though. Class 4, it's probably over here.
Still not.
Okay, so that was actually number 7 of class 4, so sorry. Let's go back to class 3 now. Here you go. Class 3. Okay. All right, so number 7 on class 3. When visiting the library, the standard way of searching the database is by having specific information. You have to have specific information. So you should have the author, the title, and the publishing house. Author, title, publishing house. Those are 3 ways that you can search the database. And then number 8, the list of sources for the research paper in MLA style. All our sources are called a working bibliography, so you should write that down, a working bibliography. But just please remember, you are not going to write bibliography, you are going to write works cited page. All right, and number 9, so later it will become your works cited page. It is your working bibliography, but it will become your works cited page. All right, to cite a newspaper article. What comes first in a newspaper article? Will you put the last name first or the first name first? Last name. So it should be last name, then the first name, the title of what is next. Do you know, Sean, what should be in a newspaper article? What should we cite next?
The title of the article.
Yes. Next should be the title of the article, and the title of the article should be in what, Ryan? Not the article. Sean?
Quote.
Yes, in quotation marks. So a title of an article will be in quotation marks. All right, the next thing after that, you should have the name of the what?
The publisher?
The publication. So if it's the Baptist Gazette, whatever the name of the publication is, you'll put that next. And then after the name of the publication, you have the date that it was published, the date that it was published. And remember, the last thing is page. The last thing is page. I didn't teach you this yet, but some of you want to put PG. Don't do that. You need to just put P period if it's one page, so page 1. If you have more than one page, then you need to do it like this, PP period. So this means one page, this means like 2 through 7. So that's how you would do that.
Okay.
Let's see. And our list that has some order and helps us to write the research page, what do we call that? The list that I'm going to require for you next week. It's an outline, yes. So that list that helps you keep order, that's called the outline. All right, and then there are 2 kinds of outlines. You can have a sentence outline or you can have a topical outline. I do have some examples of this, so I will show you that in a little while. So you can either do sentence outline or a topical outline. Joanna, if you want, you could get those charts and just put them up here so that they're ready so I can show them to them. I think they were next to the refrigerator. Thank you. All right, and then for an outline, your form should be like this. So when you have Roman numeral 1, it should be your first main point or idea. Roman numeral 1 should be your first main point or your idea. And then under letter A, capital A there, it should be your subheading. That's your subheading, and that should support your first main point. So your subheading will support your first main point. And then under letter A, there'll be a number 1. And number 1 is the writing that upholds subheading A. So whatever is under A, number 1, whatever you write about there, it should uphold subheading A. And then number 2, your number 2 should uphold subheading A as well. So you shouldn't be writing about something in another paragraph. It should be all in that first paragraph. And then for B, a subheading which will support the first main point. And then again, your number 1, that will uphold subheading B, and your number 2 will also uphold subheading B. Any questions about that so far? Okay, and then you're going to go down to Roman numeral 2, and that's your second main point. That's your second main point. And letter A, again, the subheading, that will support your second main point. Number 1, your writing will support the second main point. And number 2, that writing will support the second main point. And then under, yes.
Sorry, you'll have 2 paragraphs for each point that you're making?
No, these are just your ideas that will be within that paragraph. So there should just be 1 paragraph. Okay, so you see where you have Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3? Those each represent 1 paragraph, which should be at least 1 page long. So, but these points are just things that you're going to talk about in that paragraph. So it's just to keep it organized in your mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess I'll find out if it makes sense or not. when I
Okay.
read it.
Okay. So it's just pretty much get in paragraph 1, for instance, you're going to have different things that you're writing about, and you just want to write on these lines when you make your outline what you're kind of going to be writing about in that paragraph. So this is just helping you to organize it of how you might put it forth. And I'll show you, we have some examples that'll probably make it clearer. All right.
So it's like a table of contents, basically, but you're going into
Okay.
more detail then?
So this outline is really just for your benefit, and it is going to still be required to do it in MLA style. So you're still going to have, you know, your last name and the page number here. And you're still going to have your 4 lines here. Right here, you're just going to put your outline, or actually you can put the name, put the title of what your paper's about. Write the title here of what your paper's about. And then you're just going to start with, you know, Roman numeral 1 actually is probably, for all of you, you're going to have up to Roman numeral 5, because Roman numeral 1 is going to be your introduction. So this is going to be your introduction. And then maybe under A, you're just going to go into some history. And so maybe 1 and 2 are going to be more specific. Like if I was going to do history of Japan, so it'll be something very specific here, something very specific. Some maybe great revival or some missionary that came a long time ago, or something very specific. The only reason we're doing an outline is to remind you, hey, don't forget you want to talk about this event. Oh yeah, don't forget I want to talk about this event. So really this outline isn't as much for me as it is for you, to help you kind of jog your memory of what you want to write about. Does it make a little more sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think it'll make more sense as you go on and as you see examples. All right, so basically then on Roman numeral 3, it should be the 3rd main point. A should be the subheading, which will support the 3rd main point. And then number 1 is writing that supports subheading A. Number 2, writing that supports subheading A as well. I'm sorry, yes, you're still in letter A. And then letter B, subheading, which will support the third main point, and writing that supports subheading B, and writing that supports subheading B. And again, so just remember, you all will have Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2, Roman numeral 3, 4, and 5. And 5 will be your conclusion. And number 1 will be your introduction. And then you have 3 main paragraphs that you're going to write about. If I was going to write about 3 things about God's character, say mercy, let's say love, but let's also say judgment. These are 3 things about God. So I might start with judgment here. I might go on to mercy, and then go on to love. And so that just shows me that I'm going to write all about mercy here. Am I going to write about mercy down here in this paragraph? No. So this outline is showing me, hey, remember, this is just for this paragraph, nothing else. So really it's just helping you to keep things in order. All right. And then number 14. Oh, did you have a question?
We don't need to write paragraphs for 4 and 5 on the Roman numeral outline things.
You do? Oh, you mean
Yeah,
like for your introduction and conclusion?
yeah. It's with,
You don't really need to do that there. I mean, I might just put, yeah, I mean, it depends how much of an introduction you're going into, because I do want it to be a full page. So it might help you though to just go ahead and do your A, but make sure if you do an A, you need a 1 and a 2. Maybe that will be all you need, but maybe for others, they're going into more detail. They may need B and 1 and 2, but you may just need A, 1 and 2.
Is it required to be use Roman numerals?
Yes, to do this outline, yes, because this is teaching you how to do your outline. So I can see that for other classes, you'll be able to make an outline. All right, and so then number 14, notice that we use Roman numerals for the main point or idea. So your main point or idea does have to have Roman numerals. And then we use Arabic numbers in number 15 to support for support writing. So like right here, that's for our support writing. All right, and letters and numerals have periods, but Roman numerals do not. Do not put a period after these. Do not do that. Only after like A, 1, and 2, not after the Roman numerals. Okay? And make sure you indent each leveled part of the outline, and we have an example of that, so you can look at that. So this shows you how I want this assignment to look. So when you send it in to me in MLA style, it should look just like this.
Do you want us to put the 9th of May for this as well?
Yes. Yes, go ahead and do that.
So I thought we were putting, I guess I'm stupid.
No,
Did
you're
we,
not.
I thought we were putting, writing a whole, so we're not writing a whole paragraph on like, preparation and then A.
No,
We're just putting what we're going to talk about.
yeah, so all of this is gonna be in that
Okay.
paragraph, yes.
This is just an example.
You should
Yeah.
make it English too. But help too.
No, he's fine, that's
I
good.
know.
Yeah,
I'm giving him a hard
It makes a
time.
lot more sense.
okay, I'm glad. All right, good. All right, and then just remember an A needs a B and a 1 needs a 2. All right, and if you use a topical outline, the phrases must be coherent. I must be able to understand what you're saying. So for a topical outline, you're not necessarily using sentences. Let me see if I have an example here. All right, so look at this one right here. All right, this one is a sentence outline because I have full sentences here. So let me just take it up here. So, preparing to cut. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me go on this side. Yeah, it's hard to see. But anyways, so preparing to cook. So I have a full sentence here. The characteristics of a proper cooking area. And then a proper cooking area is clean and sanitized. You see, that's a full sentence. Counters should be scrubbed down and be free of clutter. The refrigerator must, and you'll go on. So that's a sentence outline. You can choose to do that. But I don't mind if you do a topical outline, so long as I can understand it. So here, this one is saying preparing to cook. And it says characteristics of a proper cooking area, and then they just have clean areas. Counter, sink, refrigerator, floor, and then accessible ingredients, they should be fresh. So this I can understand. So if you choose to make a topical outline, just make sure that when you're writing it out that it's understandable. Any questions? No? Okay. All right, so that's what we're talking about when we talk about topical outline or a sentence outline.
Mrs. Brown,
Yes.
do you want me to adjust the camera so that way the next time you pull up a bulletin, it's able for easier for them to see?
Yes, except I'm not sure if it's gonna affect when we do the other thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why. All right, so and then when you begin to prepare your outline, you can just start by jotting down any ideas that come to your mind. Anything about your topic you want to jot it down, you should do so. And as you are brainstorming, you do not need to be concerned what order you're putting everything in, because later you'll put it in a more exact order. But when you're first brainstorming, just jot everything down. Later, you can use these ideas to construct your order. And be careful not to be distracted by unnecessary ideas. If you feel some of your ideas are too broad, you can cross them out while you're brainstorming. And that's why it's good to do this, because then you can notice, oh, wait a minute, I can't really talk about all of the missionaries in the whole world. Maybe I can just narrow it down to missionaries in Japan, you know. All right, and then after your brainstorming, you will begin to prepare your outline, and you will want to decide what your main points will be. And you will need to decide which areas will be subheadings and which will be supporting writing. And even though you might have an idea of how many subheadings you will have, after looking at all your information, it might make you decide, oh, I need to add more, or you might not have enough information. You might decide to subtract some subheadings. Okay, I guess the main thing I just want you all to get is when you're doing your outline, make sure it's in an understandable, clear order. And then make sure that if you do a sentence outline, that you use periods with your sentences. And for a topical outline, also make sure that everything is parallel. Okay, let's look at that for a minute. So the first one here is parallel. Okay, so for this one, it says word processing programs, database programs, and spreadsheet programs. That's all parallel because it's all very readable and understandable. Here, this one's not parallel. Word processing programs, Microsoft Word, desktop publishing. So Word is a type of word processing program, but it could actually be a number one under letter A. So that's why this one is not parallel. So just be careful of that, if you use topics, that's fine, but just make sure it's pretty parallel. Okay? All right. And then let's see. Okay, I think that was all of our notes from class 3. Let's look at class 4 for a minute. Okay, so newspaper articles are cited differently than books. And the title of the newspaper article will be cited before the name of the newspaper. So if you're doing a newspaper article, it feels like you want to put the name of the newspaper first, but don't. Put the name of the article and then the name of the newspaper. And it will also be cited, as Sean said, using quotation marks. So make sure you use quotation marks. And we already went over this a little bit. You don't want to use the word page or PG. Instead, use this form, P period, for one page, and more than one page, you want to do PP period with the name, the numbers of the book, or the numbers of the pages. And while the library has one main central library card catalog, there will also be other central terminals located in other areas of the library that you can access. All right, who thinks selecting an appropriate topic is a simple matter? What do you think? Is it simple? You think it is? It really isn't, though. Even if you have an idea in your mind and you're really pretty sure about it, it's not simple because it could be very broad, or it might not have enough information. So it's really not simple. Once you start writing things down, you're going to find out, okay, I have to think of this, and I have to think what's going in the last paragraph. So it's not really a simple matter, even if you have a good idea of what you want to write about. So it's never a simple matter. And the advantage of a good outline is you can organize your ideas and your research and decide which notes you want to use. As you go through those sources that you all listed, you're going to start to make some note cards, which I don't think I talked about note cards because we were supposed to also. So if you didn't get me those, I also need those note cards from these sources that you listed.
The bibliography cards.
Yes.
I have them ready. I just forgot to bring them.
Okay. So just make sure you bring them. Yes.
If we save those like digitally and not write them out on actual cards, Do we email those to you?
Yes,
Okay.
that's perfect.
Okay.
Yes. You can do it that way. All right, so let's see. And as you're going through those cards, that will help you to see, all right, I have too many notes. I don't need all these same notes on this topic. So it's good for you to have those cards, and you can organize using those cards. Let's see, and then so you through that you can realize which notes may not be needed. All right, and then review your notes and look carefully at your outline to decide if anything is not necessary to the thesis statement you have chosen. Now, it may be hard to delete information that you have gathered, but it's good to, if you're using the cards that you write, you can always just put those cards aside. But if it's actually on the computer, just decide, I'm just not going to use that. I don't need that. All right, and then if we include too much information, it can confuse the reader or it can cause a distraction. So that's something to be careful of, that you're not writing too much. It's not good not to write enough, but it's not good to write too much because the reader can get distracted off on some tangent and away from your main point. And then some questions you can ask are, am I comparing and contrasting something in this paper? Am I trying to define something? Am I trying to convince others of something? These are questions you can ask. So am I comparing and contrasting? Am I trying to define something? Am I trying to convince others of something? These are good questions to ask. And as you ask yourself those questions, it'll help you to arrange the order of your outline. And that'll really aid you in the writing process. All right, and again, whether you use the note cards on the computer or you write them out, the important thing is that they're accurate and that they're organized. Accurate and organized. All right, any questions on any of those that we went over so far? Yes, Ryan.
I missed that second one on number 8.
Okay, distraction. They can cause a distraction. Yes,
What's-
Sean. Sorry.
Blank in number 3.
Number 3? Number 3, there's other computer terminals in the library. Oh, did that answer your question, Ryan?
No, so the first one, then what's the first one? If we include too much information.
It can confuse the reader.
Confuse.
Confuse the
I
reader.
got
All right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so asking yourself questions can help to arrange the order of your outline. And then whether you decide to use note cards, just make sure they're accurate and organized, or if you do it on the computer. And then if you take an exact quote or the exact writing of others, it's a good idea to put quotations around that note so that later when you put it into your paper, you'll remember this was an exact quotation. I need to keep these quotation marks in here. All right, and just remember plagiarism is a kind of cheating because you're claiming something for your own, which really isn't your own. It came from the mind and heart of another. So be careful with using quotation marks. You may, however, cite the source and therefore use the material of others. So you can, without using quotation marks, for instance, if you are showing me very clearly, you know, Thomas Edison said, and then you give the idea without the quote marks, that's okay, you know, or you could say, Pastor Rick Carter in his book and name the book said, and then you can say the things, it's giving credit to him, so that's okay to do. I was thinking of something else there. Yes. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. So when I was looking at some of the works cited pages, sometimes people would put parts of their paper, like even a quotation. You don't need to do that on the works cited page, but that is the way you are going to do it in your actual paper. And there is a way that we will also give credit in the actual paper as well, but for the works cited page, you don't need any other sentences or any quotes or John 3:16 or anything like that. In the works cited page, it's basically just like a bibliography where you just want to write your sources. Okay? All right, then let's see. Okay, I believe we might have had some more notes for that. I'm not sure how we are on time. How many more minutes do we have?
7:23.
So we have about 22 minutes.
It's 22 minutes. Okay, good. All right, well, let's put those notes away for just a minute. And let's go over our verses because those are important that we learn those and make sure we keep those before us. All right, so how about if I have Pierce, you come up and hold this one, and why don't you come hold this one, Ethan? All right, and you can lead us in this one, and then after that, Ethan, you can lead us in this one. All right, and then you can just start us.
2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
It's the same thing.
Good job. All right.
Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Okay, I
Amen.
think the first one was a little bit better memorized, so you all have to work on this one. All right, thank you. Good
All I
job.
did was
All right, just keep those before you and keep studying those. They will be on the midterm. All right, and I think what we were going to do now is have a couple more people show me how they do their MLA style. And I know you all have been doing much better, but if Miss Joanna wants to help me, let's see. Pierce, you didn't get a turn yet? You
No, I
can-
didn't.
Go ahead, go right there. You can be the first one.
Work.
And you can walk us through it.
Okay. So I'm going to 12 font and then, or not 12, 12 point size and then do Times New Roman font.
Good,
And then we're going to line spacing, going to 0 points
good,
with double spacing as the margin size.
good.
And then we put the stuff on the side first before the heading, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Good.
my fingers won't work. Style. And today is the 11th. So 11 February
Good,
2025.
perfect.
Okay, and then we will center.
Good, and notice how he pressed return before he centered. Make sure you do that.
Cited page.
And make sure it says works cited page. That is your exact title. It should look just like that.
Okay.
Can you double click up there?
Page number. Oh.
Good.
23.
It goes to play number 3.
And then last name, space, double click to get out.
Yes.
Go to next, enter.
Yes, make sure you all enter, right? After you do the works cited page title and you get back there, make sure you press enter. And then just one other thing I want to say, as you all do that and you make your citation and you're done with the first citation, again, click enter and so that you have spaces between each citation. So every time hit return after each citation. But very good, you did very well. All right, Sean, you want to turn?
Sure.
Okay. And we'll probably just do 2 today. We'll do some more next week.
You've been interesting because I use different word processing.
Yeah.
Start by finding the font and
Mhm.
the font size.
Yes,
And this, I'm ahead of myself. Here,
good,
line spacing,
good,
this double,
good, double space,
okay. And enter your personal information.
right, good. And this helps you to know how to spell my name also.
Mrs. House of Ladies.
Good, just make sure style's capitalized.
Forgetting it doesn't capitalize for me.
In all technicality, do we use the and symbol or do we spell it and?
You should spell it out,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, that one's good. Good, just capitalize February. There you go.
Right. Enter and then change the alignment to center.
Mm-hmm.
Enter.
Well, make sure you write works cited page. But next is cited.
I'm guilty of that.
I know. Second S.
It's easier to tell one back there.
That's funny.
Just eat some food. You're fine. That's crazy.
Good.
Enter and then change the alignment to level.
Okay, but you forgot to double click to do the header, so you would get your page numbers in there.
Yeah, really.
There you go.
Let's see. And
It's a crap. Is Mrs. Cressy told me.
So I think you're looking for, the one that says top of page. So it might be under,
Where'd you go?
yeah,
I'm not looking. Oh, page.
there you go.
C'est double
Now,
zip.
there you go.
I don't know how I do it, but I don't ever.
Good.
look it up.
And notice how he put a space in between his name and the page number. Very good. Very good. Yes, very good. And then,
That's what I do, actually.
only other reminder is about the date. He did the date perfectly, and that's the same way you do the date inside your citations.
Yes.
So make sure you do it just like that. There's no commas, like after 11 or after February, just perfectly like that. Good job. Very good, Sean. All right, Joanna, would you like to help us now to set up for the outline? And if you want, you can just go through it and you all can watch how she does it. You want me to read and you'll do it? Okay. Because it's hard to do both things at once. All right. All right, so we're gonna see how I want you to set up for your outline. It should also be in MLA style. And honestly, if you wanna leave all that up there and we can just erase works cited page and we can just put the name of the title to save time. All right, so pretty much you know how to do this part. So instead of works cited page, there will be the title of your paper, whatever the title of your paper is. So let's see, how about, do you know the name of your title yet, Justin? Drawing Nigh to God. All right, so let's do that. Drawing Nigh to God.
The mouse is giving me a
Oh, So you want to make sure it's centered. And then he will type in the title. Yeah, drawing nigh to God. And on your title, all the main words have to be capitalized. So drawing nigh, not to, but God. Very good. All right, and then you're going to press enter. All right, and so we have the title of our paper, we have our page number. So we're gonna left align, and we're gonna make the capital Roman numeral 1 or capital I. Okay, so there that is. You're gonna press a tab right after that.
Mrs. Fraunhofer?
Yes.
So I noticed on the page we do, but I remember when you were going over it up there, you said we don't put periods after Roman numerals.
Yes, so don't
Okay.
put a period. Did I say put a period? Don't put a period.
And on the page, there's periods.
Oh,
So I just
okay.
want to make sure.
All right, yes, no period.
All
That's okay. Yes, Isaiah.
For some reason, whatever typing website I have, it doesn't like take back the period on the Roman numerals.
Oh, really? It won't take them all.
Word does it automatically with
Oh,
periods.
okay.
Alright, what is it called?
Well,
I'll get it figured out.
yeah, you might want to change somehow. I don't know. It's not supposed to have a period because of MLA style.
Yeah.
So.
Because if you put the Roman numeral and then a period, it automatically indents it and makes your life 10 times easier. So
um,
it's a little rough if you don't add the period.
easy. So, are you saying put the period?
Yeah, probably.
There's a way to not do.
If you just get a tab.
All right.
My dad, you know,
Yeah, but it automatically sets it up for you and it even,
No one said college is gonna be easy.
well, also subsets for you if you press enter, so.
All right, well, if you use the period on them, I'm not gonna make a big deal of it, but
Correct.
just know that the correct way is to not have a period there, and on the midterm, make sure you understand that it should say, don't use the period.
Perfect. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
all right, I'll check that out and see later, but I didn't check all that out. All right, so, we're gonna press tab, we're gonna write, introduction there, where you have Roman numeral 1, you're going to write introduction, and then we press enter. Okay, and, so now, this is where usually the 2 comes
Yeah.
automatically. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's because I didn't put.
Oh, because you didn't put the period, that's why, okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let you all use the period. So that it will put that down there for you automatically, okay. But remember that you are gonna have to, go back and put your first point, so, do we put all of them in first, you think, is that easier? All the, up to number 5? All right, let's go ahead and put them all in then, up to number 5. So you're gonna have 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like, you're gonna type number 3 next?
First you have to put what you're gonna put next to it.
Oh, so sorry, you're right, you do have to put that in. All right, so let's just, I don't know what Brother Justin's first point is, but let's just say it's prayer. Let's put prayer. Okay, and let's put, devotions. And let's put witnessing. Okay, and then the last one, we're going to put conclusion.
And you just made Justin's life
Can
10
you
times
do
easier.
Okay, just spell conclusion. Yeah, you did. All right, conclusion. All right. Okay, and now you're gonna go back and, put in your other, letters and numbers. And this, we'll just do it for you.
You have to press backspace.
Mhm.
Yeah. Press backspace and then put your A. Yes.
Wow. Start writing like that.
And then, do you have to write something there to get your 1 and 2 up? Okay, but I think you guys get the general idea, right?
Can we do my topic?
All right, just as long as you have the general idea, this is what I want your assignment to look like. It should look just like this. So if you have any questions, you can, come to me or Joanna anytime, and, we'll be happy to help you, but go ahead and make sure it looks like that. Any questions? Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you didn't cover it, but you cannot have an A without a B.
That's
and
right.
You cannot have a 1 without a 2.
Yes, exactly. So make sure if you have an A,
She said.
you have to at least have a 1 and a 2. If you have a B, you have to have at least a 1 and a
But
2.
if you have a C, it doesn't mean you have to have a D.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true, yes. All right, let me see if we went over everything that we need to for this week. We did the sentence outline. And we've gone over how to do your citations, and if you send me your, works cited page, I did give you notes of how to correct them. I think we went over all of this last week. Oh, we didn't go over bibliography cards. Let's go over that a little bit. So when you're making your cards, or maybe we did last week, but we didn't this week, make sure that, you have last name first. Then, for instance, this is an article, and remember, articles go before the name of the publication. So we have the article, Tithing in a New Testament Church, and they have quotation marks, and it's ended with a period. Then we have the name of the publication with a period, and then here we have the date. And it's okay to put a period with February abbreviated, but you could also put, actually on the cards, you're supposed to abbreviate, yes, and you do need the period. But that's not how you do it when you're doing it on the page, but on your cards, you can do it like this. And then you should put the address, if it was an online article. If there's not a date, then, and you're doing the date that you accessed it, you should put the day and then the month. And again, you can actually, yes, I guess it's fine. So either way is fine. Spell it out or abbreviate, whichever is easier. But after the date, you will put access. That's so that we know that's the date you found it. That's not the date that they wrote it. But please don't do both. If there's a date of when it was written, don't put the date written and the date accessed. So if you know the date, then put that in. That's more important. But if you can't find that date, then put the date accessed.
I put that down. I put it like almost exactly because I have all of it in my Google Notes.
Okay.
But I don't know why that was necessary. And I put all of that like that, all of my cited deals like that on my works cited page.
Mhm.
Is that how you wanted it,
Mm-hmm.
or is it just for like the cards thingies?
Well, this is for the cards, and it's pretty similar. The cards are pretty similar to the way you're going to do it on the works cited page. Yeah, they're pretty similar. Trying to think if there's any different. I guess the difference would be that I believe you spell everything out on your works cited page, but here you can abbreviate. So I think that might be a difference. We didn't really go over an online dictionary. So if you're using the Webster's Dictionary, this is a little different. So when you do this, you need to put the name of the word that you looked up first, and you need to put that in quotation marks. And then you need to tell what kind of speech it is. So this is a noun, and it'll have numbers that you put next to there. It probably has 2 definitions for the noun. And then you write Webster's Dictionary 1828 with a comma, and then you put the date, and again, you see, well, here they did spell it all out. This is when they accessed it. And so pretty much you're going to know here that that's the date accessed because, you know, we don't think he wrote this in 2022. So anyways, but anyways, but you can also put access, but here's the date that they accessed it, here's the address. All right, and actually they did write down here, yes, they did. All right, and then an entry in a computer file, works cited. So this is the way you would enter it in a computer file. So in other words, this is the way you would write it out as a card. This is the way you should send it to me if you send it to me on the computer. Pretty similar. Yeah. Oh, on the computer, make sure the name of the dictionary is italicized. Okay, so that would be the difference there. Any questions about how to do a dictionary? Okay, let's see what else we are. All right, and this was for the newspaper, but we've already done this, so I think you're pretty familiar with how to do that, and I think that's everything. All right. So we will finish our notes next week, but just remember your reading to do pages 44 to 57. Make sure you send me note cards or else bring them to next class. Correct those works cited page. That's really important. And one other thing, just a reminder on the works cited, between each entry, make sure you press enter. So they're not all close together, but they're actually separated. And let's see. And reading your outline. Make sure you do your outline as well and correct your works cited page. All right, and now we will